Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay,
And this is C-Dub.
and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's live, we will be discussing what we thought was going to be the biggest fight in boxing in the last 40 years: Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Bud Crawford. Last night, that took place at MGM. Was it MGM?
I'm not sure
In
if
Las
that's MGM
Vegas.
or not.
Oh, T-Mobile Arena, I think, in Las Vegas. I don't know where it was at, but
Hey,
yes.
hold on real quick. I still hear the countdown music.
Oh no, I had got put some little music in the background. Let me change.
Yeah.
Just for the intro, till we get a couple people to come in, a little small talk.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I mean, it was the build up. It was cool. I got the opportunity to experience that. I appreciate Spence for that. You really got to give it up to both fighters for making this fight.
Yeah, for sure.
More so to Errol Spence, even though now in hindsight, he probably got played, but he did what he had to do to make the fight. He thought he could overcome more than he could overcome. It just didn't work out. And like I said, Terence Crawford he's a genius when it comes to timing and when to fight people, and apparently a contract negotiations. So
what I want to say about the I'm glad. I do think that fight was a very big fight. Of course, we won't know about the pay-per-view and how much of a success it was, but in my prediction, a fight of that magnitude would probably do around 2 million pay-per-view buys. So I do think that this would be one of the highest grossing fights that we probably ever see, and I do think it was a big event. With that being said, I'm gonna give all my props and respect for Terence Bud Crawford. Last night he showed me. I was a T-Bud fan, but I wasn't high on him. I didn't think he could beat Spence. Last night he showed me in every aspect of boxing: speed, boxing ability, footwork, countering ability, toughness, power. Everything was on a high level with Errol Spence last night. So I got to give him his respect, man. He's that guy. He's that guy.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not that I was never a Terence Crawford fan. I really did not think that Errol Spence could not beat him. Yes, he won. Yes, he looked excellent. He looked perfect last night. But I mean, but on the flip side, Errol Spence was not Errol Spence. But before we talk about that, let's just run through the undercard real quick. What you think about the undercard fights? How'd you feel about them?
Okay, the first well, I'm not sure about the first fight, but the Nonito fight, I thought that was a very entertaining scrap.
I thought Donito, yeah. I thought Donito looked good.
That
I think
Nonito fight,
he probably still got a couple more fights in him.
yeah, that Nonito fight was a very, very entertaining back and forth scrap. The scorecards were lopsided, in my opinion, in that fight. I thought that fight.
I don't really watch a lot of Donito Donaire fights, but I hear like his manager and trainers and stuff talking a lot, and him after fights talking a lot, and it just seems like he doesn't listen to his corner. It seems like every time he loses, it's because he took a gamble or he was trying to do this. It's like he don't listen.
I think, well, not in last night's fight, but in like the NUA fight, I think he took the gamble because he knew regardless of what he did, he was gonna lose. So he took the biggest risk and tried to go in there and knock him out, and that's why he got stopped pretty early in that last fight with NUA. But the fight that he had last night, in my opinion, that fight was it looked more like a draw to me. It was a lot of back and forth action in every round. They both was hitting each other with bombs and wasn't going nowhere. It was a very, very entertaining scrap. And as we was watching it, we were sitting there just joking about it, but we was like, if the main event is like this, we gonna get our money's worth. But that was a very back and forth scrap with whoever the guy name was. I thought it could have been a draw, to be honest with you. So, but it was definitely a great scrap, though. Nonito is not done in boxing. he still got some juice in the tank at 40 years old.
I know, right? Like he
Still
was
got
giving
some
that
juice.
young dude the business. But so what you think about the Issa Cruz fight? Do you think
Oh, yeah. I'm
Issa
glad we're talking
Cruz,
about this
to
Issa
me,
Cruz
Issa
fight.
Cruz was exposed yet again. I feel like Tank kind of exposed him, but he was able to hit Tank a couple times, so everybody was like, ooh, but this little Cabrera, whatever his name was, Issa Cruz cannot fight people moving laterally, period. Any type of footwork you go in there with Issa Cruz, he's gonna struggle. He don't got no jack. Isn't all Issa Cruz do was throw hooks all night. They was slow. They was telegraphed. The dude seen him coming. The dude was long. He kept Cruz off of him. Wasn't a good fight for Cruz at all. Maybe he just had a bad night.
No, I think that's just what it is. I think any fighter that and it's not every fighter. Let me say this: Cabrera is a pretty good boxer. He's definitely got skill. Cabrera definitely got skill. He can move very well. He pivoting. He don't stand right in front of you. He get his off and he getting out the way. Um, but yeah, I definitely think Cruz got exposed last night with the gift victory. I don't think he won that fight.
Yeah, you
And,
know they was gonna give it to him.
and it was mighty crazy seeing a man stand right in front of Pitbull with his
And
hands
eat
down,
them punches.
with his hands down for 12 full rounds and do whatever he wanted to do to Pitbull Cruz. He ate every shot from Pitbull.
Ate them.
Ate every shot. So
And towards the later rounds, he was eating them because he was tired. He didn't have no pop on it.
yeah, he just ate them. So Cabrera's a good boxer for sure, but Cabrera ain't on that level of Shakur and all of them. If that was Shakur last night against Pitbull Cruz, it would have looked something like the main event or even worse. It would have been bad. It would have been real bad for Isaac Cruz. So, man, I understand why he want to get the Tank payday. It's a big payday because he ain't gonna beat any of the top guys. He just going for the biggest payday. So,
Yeah, I see why he does. He could fight Frank Martin though.
Frank Martin got footwork and boxing ability to make him look bad. Make him look real bad.
I mean,
even young Keyshawn to make him look real bad from what we seen last night.
oh, well, he need to get in there with Keyshawn. He'll fuck around and knock Keyshawn ass out. Keyshawn ain't got no pop.
No, anybody with IQ, athleticism is gonna make Isaac Cruz look bad.
What's up, everybody out there in the chat? Let me know and drop it below your 2 cents about what went down last night. How you feel about the fight? Joseph N says, I want Earl to go to 154. I mean, it's time for Earl to go to 154. And C-Dub, I'm coming with the theories today. But we're gonna run through it first, and then I'm gonna drop my defense on what could have caused Earl. Because if you look at the census, it's like, okay, Crawford looked good, Crawford looked sharp, Crawford looked A+, but Spence looked F.
I mean, I think Crawford made him look like an F. That's what it was.
No, it wasn't that.
Crawford made him look like that. Crawford made it to where it was so one-sided. It wasn't anything that Spence had going on. I think we didn't think it would be like this. Even Bud fans, let's keep it real.
No, nobody thought it would
even
be
the people
like
that was going for Bud didn't think it would happen like that. Nobody thought it would happen like that. What we seen last night was a total domination. Nobody thought, no matter who you was going for, no matter who you don't like, nobody thought it would happen quite like that. That was a one-sided ass whooping.
Trench Brick say now we need Tank and Shakur. Trench, I don't think Shakur can beat Tank. I just don't see it.
We still need to see it. The best need to fight the best, man. We seen it last night. Let's see it. Let's see the best fight the best, man. After last night, I'm more inspired than ever to want to see these fights sooner than later. I want to see these fights sooner than later. The best fighting the best. They're going to make their bank. Let's see it. Let's clear the air.
Let's stop making it seem like you take a L and it's the end of your career. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it ain't the end of
It ain't the
Spence.
end. If Spence boom, okay, boom, he ain't do it at 147. He go up to 154, get a strap or two. Like he's still great. This doesn't take away from his greatness, even though I thought this fight would solidify his greatness.
That fight solidified Terence Crawford's greatness.
Yeah, man.
And Terence Crawford is going up to 154 as well, so I don't see any more belts happening for Spence. I don't see any more belts. I don't see him.
Well, you know, Crawford ain't gonna go fight for him today.
Crawford himself said that this was hard to make 147. He ready to move up as well. So
they'll fuck around and do the same shit at 154.
Right, and it'll be the same outcome.
Let Spence run around and take all the belts. This nigga sit back. Hey, that'd be dope. But man,
I just don't see it. If Bud is around, I don't see Sniff. I don't see.
It's not that I thought Bud was a bad fighter. He was good. It's just that I felt like, how you gonna jump up to high level competition? How you gonna look the same? But the fact that he looked, bro, it's just something not right, bro. It's just something not right. Congratulations, Terence Crawford. You were sharp. You had all the answers. But Spence ain't do shit. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Well, see, honestly, no, we've seen hundreds, thousands of professional boxing matches from the prospect level all the way up to the championship level. We've seen our fair share of ass whoopings and dominations. But I don't think we've ever seen a title fight that was supposed to be 50-50 go like this. Earlier in the week, we was talking about the potential 50-50 matchup with Inoue and Cool Boy Stephen Fulton. And a lot of people, like including myself, thought that was a more 50-50 matchup than most other championship matchups.
Well, we seen the Wilder fight look like this, and you know what was up with that.
Inoue went in there and dominated Stephen Fulton from round 1 to the round that he knocked him out in 8. We was like, damn, that was one-sided ass whooping. But what we seen last night, that was even worse.
Joseph N say Earl looked overtrained and weight drained, in my opinion. Do you think he had a rehydration clause in his contract?
There was no rehydration clause in his contract.
Mm.
There was no rehydration clause. Both of these guys got to, fill out and rehydrate to whatever they was comfortable rehydrating to. There was no rehydration clause.
I don't even know.
From what I've seen, if you go back and look at the weigh-in, just compare the two guys' physiques. It kind of looked like what we thought Spence would be like. That's what Crawford was.
Right.
Crawford seemed to be the more sturdier, stronger, fit person. Spence was on weight. That's no doubt. Spence was definitely on weight. But Spence didn't look as good as Crawford did on that scale and in the face-off the day before the fight. It's physically, the body-wise, it just looked different.
He didn't look as good as he did in the Ugas fight, but I was like, maybe he just filled out some more.
From what it looked like to me, Crawford trained and prepared his mind and everything for the biggest fight of his career, and it worked out for him. He locked in. Terence Crawford locked in for that fight last night, all the way, 100% locked all the way in, and it showed. He ain't never fought that good against much lesser competition.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't never looked that good.
That's what it looked
basically
like.
He been bullshitting.
That's what that's what it looked like. Terence Crawford been playing around in the game, bullshitting. But he showed what he really got inside last night.
Trench say Tank is a 28-year-old prospect. I don't know about that, Trench.
I feel what you're saying.
Joseph N say that.
I feel what he's saying. He's 20 years old. He still ain't fought no real smoke. He need to go ahead and start doing it.
Man, forget that smoke crap. Collect your money.
Collecting the money, cool, but
it's not. Trench Brick say it's not the end of their careers, but all these undefeated fighters with names, ain't no way.
Yeah, we got to get the business clear, man. Let's fight. It ain't just because you take a loss don't mean you a bad fighter. You can still make money.
If Spence come back from this, it's gonna solidify his greatness.
Right. It's other people out there that Spence can beat up on and continue his career. It just ain't gonna be Terence Crawford. And we gotta accept the quicker we accept that, the quicker we can, move on.
But see, Dub, even when he got to Crawford, he had no power, bro. You can't. That ain't no Crawford. Just no. He wasn't even doing nothing. It
look,
was crazy.
this is my 2 cents, and I said this. I've been saying this. Spence is the physically well. I thought Spence was the physically stronger man, but it didn't even look like that last night. But we already knew that Terence Crawford was the harder puncher of the two. The punching power and strength are two different things. It's the reason why Crawford stopped everybody he fought at 147. His power is greater, and it showed last night.
But what I'm saying, C-Dub, is Spence got it. I ain't saying he just super powerful, but his punches hurt people. He wasn't even doing it. Looked like he could barely. It looked like he was fighting in a dream. You know when you fight in your dream, you fighting slow. That's what Spence looked like last night.
You know how Spence opponents usually be beat up after a fight with all these bruises and injuries and stuff like that. That's happening from an accumulation of punches over the course of a 12 or a long fight. Spence is used to hitting people a lot over the course of a full fight. That's why they get beat up and battered and bruised. He wasn't sharp enough to even land none of that against Terence Crawford.
Someone right, bro. Trench Brick say Shakur chasing Devin, and he acting like he want Loma to stay away from Tank. Now, I don't know what Shakur doing, but he clout chasing over there, and he gonna do all of this and fight somebody we don't even know from Russia or something.
Devin said yesterday that their next fight is Lomachenko. So Devin Haney's next fight is Regis Program, and Shakur's next fight will likely be Lomachenko. So that's a great scrap. That's the fights that Shakur will hope that he needs before he gets to the top level of the tanks and everything like that. He needs tough competition, and Lomachenko is the definition of tough competition. So you need those fights.
Lomachenko becoming the gatekeeper. It might just give my 2 cents.
Right, but still, you need though. It's not gonna be easy, regardless if you're gonna do the favorite over Loma or not. It'll never be easy. So I hope he get that fight. It's only gonna help him out in his career.
What up, Greets? Greets say salute. That was not Earl. He looked malnourished. Earl disappointed a lot of people last night, bro. I don't know what.
Levels.
What?
It's called levels, people. It's levels. Crawford is multiple levels above Errol Spence Jr.
Greet say Earl was slow, no power, no chin, wasn't cut at all. He looked fat. He looked horrible. Greet say I got Earl in the rematch. Me too. I'm rocking with Earl always. Let's go. Let's ride. He might have to retire after that rematch, though.
I don't even think they're gonna have a rematch. I know Spence said he wanted, but I don't even think that it's gonna happen. Imagine them having a rematch at 154. You think it's gonna go better for Errol Spence?
Yeah, he won't be.
He's only gonna be even more slower and more lethargic at a higher weight. He's gonna get whooped even worse.
I disagree. I think he'll be stronger and better because he don't gotta try to cut all that doggone weight.
He's not the stronger man. We was wrong. Terence Crawford is stronger, faster, everything.
Man, whatever, man.
Man, we gotta accept it, man. Let's accept the facts. We know what we seen last night. We all watched this fight. Millions of us watched this fight last night. Millions of us watched this fight last night. We seen what we seen. One man is levels above the other man.
Bro, yeah, you levels above me if I'm at my lowest level.
That's not
his lowest level, bro. I don't know what the hell.
No excuses. It's not Crawford's fault. There's no excuses.
Man, I'm not making no excuses. I'm just giving my observations and my 2 cents, bro. Spence was out of there. I don't know who that was last night. He didn't even look like himself on the walk-in. You have to admit, C-Dub, something wasn't. All I'm saying, listen, Crawford looked great. Levels. He the undisputed 2-time, first-time male undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. He's the number 1 welterweight of the 147 division. All of that. But you got to admit, something was not right with Earl. Period. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is something wasn't right with Earl.
From what I've seen, Errol Spence does what he does against everybody. He the same thing he did last night, he did it against Ugas. The same thing he did last night, he did it against Danny and he did it against Danny Garcia as well. The
But before
difference,
we get to the fight, C-Dub, did he look like he normally looked? Not
yes,
even
in the
even when he
ring,
was drinking and partying, he looked so small. It was
in,
weird.
in the ring, he looked like he normally looked in the ring.
He looked sick, bro. His eyes was puffy. You gotta go watch. I don't know who you was looking at. I don't know who you was looking at, bro. He didn't look good. Shakur gonna beat Loma. Who don't know that? Exactly,
Right,
Trench.
Shakur should be Loma, but he definitely needs those type of fights. Loma is going to give you adversity. At the very least, Loma gonna make a fight tough. At the very least, as we can see, that going through adversity and getting that type of experience can only serve you best when you get to that very top level. You know what? I wish Errol Spence could have got the Pacquiao fight because Pacquiao would have gave him some adversity as well. The
Not the
speed,
way Ugas picked him apart.
right? But it's styles that make fights. That speed that Manny Pacquiao got, the in and out ability, them combinations, he would have touched Errol Spence. It would have got him better prepared for a fight like last night. See,
Reese,
Ugas
Reese
sitting
say,
right there.
dude, you tripping. Earl was sick walking to the ring.
Look, man, y'all gonna sound crazy when giving all these excuses for Spence when he ain't even give the excuses himself.
But we not giving excuses. I'm just telling you how he looked. He looked like something was going on. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, every time one of our favorite fighters get whooped, we don't want to be and do that now.
Bruh,
We don't
I'm
want to
not
do that
doing
now.
nothing. I'm just saying he didn't look right. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's why he lost. I'm just saying he didn't look right and he didn't look like himself, and that's true.
He looked like himself in the ring. When he
Cool
came out, when he
LJC
came out round
26.
one, when he came out round one with the high guard jabbing, doing what he normally do, he looked like vintage Errol Spence. Jab, jab, long left hand. That's vintage Errol Spence. We see him do that again in every fight. The difference is people normally move their whole body and get out the way. Terence Crawford stood right there, slipped, dodge, came right back with the 1-2 every time.
Cool LJC 26 say I knew Bud was quicker, but it was strange. Spence punches had no power at all on him. That's what I'm saying. Like his punches had no power at all.
Spence was never a power puncher. That's the misconception of Errol
It's
Spence.
not. No, we're not saying he was a power. This is what I'm saying. I could have went in there and took Spence body shots. That's how he looked like he had no power. That's what I mean. Like it was crazy.
He
Trench Brick
wasn't landing. That's why it had no effect on Crawford because he wasn't landing nothing clean. If he could have landed something clean, it might have did some damage to Crawford. He couldn't even land clean. Crawford seen that long, wide shit from a mile away.
Trench Brick say Earl only problem was he was too predictable. End of story.
Yeah, it's levels. Crawford seen that shit from a mile away. That jab, jab, long left hand, the same shit he did against Danny and everybody else. We know Spence. We seen a bunch of Spence fights. He do that to everybody. Jab, jab, long left hook. Jab, jab, long straight left. He do that against everybody. That shit didn't work at all. Not one time last night. It didn't work not one time last night. That standing in front of your opponent and trying to just block and parry everything, that didn't come into play last night at all against a more sharper boxer. It seemed like that Derrick James training has a limitation to it. That's what it seemed like. He needed to get out the way of Terence Crawford, not stand in
I
front
felt
of
like
him
he
trying
was
to
getting
block
out the way of Danny Garcia. So I don't know why he wouldn't be getting out the way of Terence Crawford.
Danny Garcia has slow hand speed. We all know this.
But they said Derrick James, he wasn't listening to his corner.
Danny Garcia is slow. Terence Crawford is not. That's the difference. And Danny Garcia was almost catching him. If you go back and look at that fight, Danny Garcia was just a little too slow to capitalize, but Terence Crawford wasn't. That's the difference.
Damn, Earl. Joseph N say Loma is not an easy fight for anyone.
Facts.
I mean, he seemed to get beat he's been getting beat by all the younger topper guys, I guess you could say.
He's losing, but he's definitely making a great account of himself in them fights. And in the second half of those fights, he's whooping up on these same opponents. He's going to give you some adversity. He's a great test. I would say any prospect around 135, they should try to get the Loma fight just for the experience. It's only gonna help him out.
He need to fight Keyshawn.
I mean, I would try to get my young promising prospect in there with Lomachenko because you gonna learn a lot in a fight like that.
But you know, my issue with Keyshawn is like just chill out, because every time you want to call out somebody, then when they want to fight you, you like, oh, I only got 8 fights. Well, then just wait till you get the number of fights you feel like you need to be qualified to fight these guys. Greeks says, yes, Jay, Earl punches was powerless. Awful timing. Trench Brick say Earl is stubborn. He too stubborn, man. And he probably should have listened to everybody that told him not to take this fight. Once Crawford did that shit, he should have just been like, fuck it, and moved up. Seriously.
Yeah, if I thought going into this fight, I thought Errol Spence was one of the all-time greatest welterweights of all time. But I also thought that Errol Spence would start, getting not just necessarily getting whooped, but fights would get tougher, way tougher for him as he moved up in weight and fought bigger men. And as we see, if he fight bigger, stronger man that's sharper than him, them fights not gonna look well for Errol Spence. It don't matter who he fighting. If he fighting a particular athlete that can match his physicality, it's gonna be real tough for Errol Spence to win them fights. He's kind of slow. Let's be honest with you. Errol Spence is kind of slow. He don't have a lot of tricks to his bag. He is very basic. We already knew this. We just thought the fundamentals was gonna play out for him in the end. But
what's up, Ambrose? Ambrose West say, hi, Miss 2 Cent. I just want to say Spence wasn't good enough, period. Crawford was on point and way too smart for Spence, but was faster, stronger, better footwork, skill, and just a super boxing brain.
Facts.
Hey, can't disagree with that. Greets. Ellis would have beat Earl last night. Haney could have beat Earl last night.
Well, not Haney, but if that was Boots in there last night with Spence, Boots would have whooped Spence ass last night.
He would have embarrassed him grandly.
And I would never say something like that.
But because Spence don't ever look like that. That's why.
If Boots was in there with Spence last night, it would have been the same thing. It would have been the same thing.
I just don't see it, C-Dub. Something wasn't right, bro. Something wasn't right. And I mean, everybody got to admit that. Yes, Crawford did all that, but that shit was someone right. So you think if Spence might as well retire then if that's how he gonna fight?
I wouldn't say retire, but we found more out about him. He can still have a successful career and move on and still do great things and be one of the greatest. He can still do that. But we know he's not going to be the greatest. We know that. We know he's not the best. We know this now. We know Errol Spence is not the best boxer today. He's not nowhere near the best boxer today. We found that out last night.
Frank Martin versus Keyshawn is what I want to see. Man, Joseph N., every time Keyshawn act like he want to fight somebody, then he want to turn around and be like, oh, but I only got 8 fights. Okay, well, so what does that mean? Like, Frank Martin already ran up on him at the fight. Frank Martin run up on him like, hey, what's up? We can fight whenever because you've been messing with me on the internet. Somebody asked me, oh, how you think you'll do in the fight? Oh, it'll be a good fight. And here come Keyshawn. Yeah, I beat Frank Martin. Like, come on. Like, stop it. Like, why you got to act like that? But Keyshawn did have a good point when he said, who is Frank Martin? I ain't never even heard of Frank Martin until I went pro. I've been doing this. People been knowing who I am. So I was like, he right about that. Because, he got his Olympic background and all of that. But, I mean, I would like to see that fight. That'll be a good fight.
And look what Ambrose West said. He said, this boxing of today has developed to a stage where people are hyped, excited, and interested to the max. Yes, my fighter lost today, but boxing won. Now that tempo for big fights must be maintained. I agree. Now after seeing last night, I want to see all the people that's at the top undefeated fighters. I want to see all of them against other undefeated fighters. I want to see the best versus the best. That got me inspired last night. I want to see the Tank versus Shakur. I want to see the Haney versus any of them guys. I want to see in every weight class. I want to see the best versus. I want to see Canelo versus David Benavidez. I really want to see Bud Crawford versus Jermell Charlo. Now I want to see the best versus the best in every weight class. I want to see it because we never know how these fights are gonna play out until they actually boot up and fight each other.
Bud got to fight Ennis.
He don't have to fight Ennis. He gonna move up to 154.
We need to jump the gun, push Tank and Shakur and Tank and Bud and Boots. I don't give a F. Boots gonna give Bud a run for his money. Maybe because they got the speed, the quickness, this athleticism, the flashiness, the tricks in the bag. But I don't know, man. Boots kind of got exposed against the Karen dude.
If Bud want to stick around for a title defense and fight Boots, I'm picking Bud by destruction. I'm picking Bud by destruction. Not only is he athletic, and we seen it last night. Now, we've been seeing Crawford, sit down and then he hasn't looked very, very sharp. He been getting everybody out of that, but he hasn't looked very sharp. We seen last night he still got it in him. He can still box if he want to. He can still be composed if he want to. It's all up to what he decides he want to do. Terence Crawford is the only one that can make a fight easy or hard for himself, not his opponent. It's him. He makes a fight hard. Whenever Terence Crawford look suspect in a fight, it's because he choosing to make it. He choosing the wrong fight. But if he choose the right fight, he have the capabilities to fight any type of way that he want to fight. He's that great. He showed me that last night.
Ambrose West say, I think the most amazing thing is Bomac and his team seeing and figuring a tactic out that was just sublime. A super strong, fast jab and jabbing with Spence's jab. It just messed Spence up terribly.
He had Spence. Oh, I'm talking about Spence looked bad last night. He had Spence looking bad last night. I'm talking about as each round went on, he was hurting Errol Spence in every round. He was hurting Errol Spence in every round. From round 2 to round 9, Errol Spence got hurt in 7 straight rounds.
Ambrose West say, please, the best versus the best 100. Joseph Ian, I watched the rematch at 154.
I'll watch it too, but
I mean, I don't know. I'll watch the rematch, but what Earl gonna do? I mean,
maybe they're running back and get paid. He said, calm down. Crawfish is okay. He caught Errol lacking. If that's okay, then shit, who is great? What's greater?
Joseph, and I want Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Anthony Joshua getting stopped.
Anthony Joshua was scary. Anthony Joshua was scared of that work.
Bud and Boots. Trench Brick. I just want them good fights. Like Ambrose said, the tempo through the roof. Bud Crawford became undisputed at 140 and 147, something Mayweather never did. That's a great accomplishment. Joseph, I don't think Mayweather cared nothing about none of that.
Yeah. Mayweather could have been undisputed in multiple divisions if he wanted to.
He wanted his control. When you got them belts, they can tell you what to do.
He never desired to be. He never. But I will say this. I'm going to be honest. And Floyd is the GOAT in my opinion. Floyd was smart as well. There was no possible way Floyd could have been undisputed at 154. There was no possible way.
Oh, no. He too little.
There was no possible way Floyd would have been undisputed champion at 154. He could have did it at 147, but he had no chance of doing it at 154, and he didn't even try. He went up there and got the big paydays and the big money at 154. But he wouldn't have been undisputed at 154. The Arislandi Lauras and the Jermell Charlos was champion back then. He wouldn't have beat those guys even back then. Them guys was too big, too strong for Floyd Mayweather. Are they as great a fighter as Floyd Mayweather? Hell no. Nah. But at that weight, it's too much. It would have been too much for a smaller guy like Floyd Mayweather.
Trish Brick say, y'all seen Coach Calvin say, question is Floyd going to come back and fight Bud? Hey.
It's possible.
Ooh, that'd be nasty. Huh?
It's possible.
Floyd say the money ain't big enough, though.
If the money was big enough, Floyd would do it, but Floyd would get whooped. Floyd would get whooped. At this point, Floyd would get whooped.
Boxing ain't gonna pay him $40 million 50 million.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Shit, they would. After last night, they would.
He said he just talked about this. He said they will ask me why I won't come back. And the reason why is that I look around and I see the guys making 10 and 5 and 7 million and 15. He said, well, I can do an exhibition.
Listen.
I can make
Listen.
Right. He can make that kind of. They're gonna have to pay Floyd.
I'll say this. We all know how to get Floyd about the bed. What makes Floyd move?
Saying he can't do something.
What makes Floyd move? What makes
money
motivates Floyd? If we get these pay-per-view numbers and they hit astronomical numbers like 3 million or something like that, that's the type of shit that to get Floyd up out the bed. That's the type of shit that would get Floyd Mayweather motivated to start training and work his way into a fight of this magnitude.
Floyd said if Bud won, he won. Come back.
we could possibly see it if the numbers are astronomical. Now, if the numbers are just regular, Floyd ain't getting out the bed for that. We know that. But regardless, I don't think Floyd can beat Bud right now. It's that window has passed. Bud is prime in every way. Floyd is old in every way.
Floyd be getting tapped in his exhibitions.
Bud will win that fight right now. Now, Prime versus Prime, I got Floyd, of course. But right now, Bud will beat the brakes off any old man. Pacquiao, any of them. They jump in the ring with Bud right now, they getting demolished.
Joseph N said Floyd swerve Rinky right. I don't forget.
Yeah, man. Like, we got to keep it real. You know, Floyd is the GOAT, in my opinion. But Floyd, he not stupid either. Them guys that at 154, they much bigger man. Floyd walked around at 150.
Trench Brick say he just not gonna do Floyd like Earl. Joseph, you just trying to argue.
I'm not saying he gonna do him like Earl, but he gonna.
No, he talking to Joseph.
He gonna win that fight though.
If Bud got stamina, yeah, he do. Bud just he looked perfect last. He looked A+. Spence looked F-, man. He got an eye last night.
Last night looked like a master versus a prospect. That's what it looked like last night. It looked like a master versus a prospect. And you know how fighters, you know how they ask the fighters, what do you rate yourself after a fight? That was an A+ for sure last night. That was an A+ performance. The last time I seen a championship fight go, not a champ, a fight, a big fight be this one-sided, it was when Floyd whooped Arturo Gatti. That's how bad that fight was. And we know how bad Floyd whooped Arturo Gatti. It was a total domination. That's what that fight looked like last night. Floyd versus Arturo Gatti. Domination.
I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm just at a loss for words. I'm shocked.
That was a dominating, sensational masterclass we seen last night.
I'm devastated. Earl just did not even look like himself, man. That's all I can say. But Terence Crawford, I wonder who he gonna fight next. You think he finna fight Charlo?
I mean, we don't know. Charlo coming back to 54. We got to just wait. See, that's what I was saying last night. I kind of wish that not Errol. I kind of wish that Jamel didn't get the Canelo fight because we would see that next. We would definitely see Bud versus Charlo next if he didn't move up to fight Canelo. And that right now, that fight looked better than ever. Bud versus Charlo looks better than it ever looked. It's so enticing. It's ready-made smoke. That fight looks better than ever now. After we seen what we seen last night, Bud Crawford versus Jamel Charlo looks like a very enticing, entertaining fight.
But it's like, so Charlo go up and get knocked out by Canelo, then come back down and fight Crawford. He just always, his time and be so perfect with when he's fighting these fighters.
It's made for him. It's meant for him. It's meant for him. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be. That's just what it is. It don't matter what the situation was. It seems like it's gonna work out in Terence Crawford's favor. Now, do I think he can beat Jamel Charlo? I don't think he can beat Jamel Charlo. But who knows what Jamel Charlo will look like after this Canelo fight?
That's what I'm saying.
It's just meant to be. It's just meant to be.
Trench Brick say shit. Floyd ain't want Earl to win because of that sparring session anyway. You know, Floyd be holding a grudge.
But let me say this, and I'm not making no excuses, and I'm not taking nothing away from Terence Crawford. Let me say this, and I know a lot of people were saying otherwise. Even Errol Spence himself said otherwise. All them injuries and them car accidents and them traumatic physical experiences, they did not help him in a fight like last night. He is not a better athlete than he was 4 or 5 years ago. He is not. And I want people to stop acting like this man is some superhuman. He can go through all that and just be physically better. No, he may be mentally better, but he's not a physically better athlete than he was before that big car crash. You can look at his body and tell. He used to be much more brolic and brutally. He's a much different guy now. He looked go look at photos from Spence and weigh-ins and fights from 4 years ago, from 2019 and before. And then look at him now. He don't look the same. He don't look the same. He may be mentally better, but physically he's not the same athlete. He's not. And I'm not saying that's the difference in the fight last night. But what I'm saying is people thinking that he was going through all that and becoming better because he's so indestructible and all that. Terence Crawford debunked all that shit last night. He is not a better athlete from going through those experiences. Those experiences hurt him. Without those experiences, he would have been better prepared for a fight like last night.
No, man. Ambrose West says Floyd is like 52 or something. Why? Let's see the fights where there's a 50-50 chance of winning by the underdog as well, where there is no doubt or excuse afterwards.
Okay,
my favorite Floyd fight is the Diego Corrales fight. Yeah, that was a good fight.
Facts. Well, yeah, that was a destruction as well. That kind of looked like last night as well. It was that last night was similar to that too. It was levels, and it was nothing Spence could do. It's levels. Even Canelo had a better account versus Floyd than Spence had against Bud. Canelo got whooped every round, but shoot, he ain't get whooped like that.
Right. Bud versus Charlo will be fire. Why, Canelo? Why? A payday, they willing to get their ass whooped for a payday.
Man, after seeing last night, I know Canelo. I know Charlo gonna get his money, but damn, I want him to see him versus Bud. I want to see that way more than I want to see Canelo.
You seen Bud was talking shit to him in the ring?
Yeah, it's a ready-made fight. Honestly, I want Charlo to do some type of duck move on Canelo. I want him to play some type of game. I want him to play these games these other niggas be doing, but I know he ain't. I want him to do a duck move versus Canelo and fight Bud. That's what I really want. If I could have what I want, a Christmas list, a prayer, a wish, I wish I could see next Bud versus Jermell Charlo. I wish I could see that fight next.
Because you're going to have Bud trying to fight Charlo after a hard fight like Canelo.
Yeah.
But Trench Briggs say Canelo washed.
He washed, but shoot, if he's fighting a smaller man, he got the advantage.
Grease say Jermell ain't losing.
He not losing against who? It depends on who he fighting.
West say Bud is 35. He doesn't have much time.
Shit, he ain't looked
35. Bud ain't been taking no punishment, though. He been cruising through these fights.
He ain't looked 35 last night. He looked 25 last night. Errol Spence looked like the old wash man last night. Bud looked great, sensational last night. 10 out of 10 performance. It don't get no better than that. It don't get no better than what we seen last night. All around domination. There is nothing Spence could do besides continue to get whooped. There was nothing that he could have did last night. After the first round, there was nothing that he could have did. He had no answers. He had no counter game plan. He looked like
he wasn't listening to Derrick James, bro.
It don't matter what Derrick James could have told him. He wasn't ready for a fight like that.
Joseph N say Canelo don't want that Benavidez smoke. We already know he want to fight everybody but Benavidez. Pull people up. He just want to do everything but fight Benavidez. The fight right there.
Facts. If Spence would have won last night, Canelo would have been trying to bark up that tree. The difference is we know Bud not stupid enough to take that bait. Bud not finna jump up to 168 and fight Canelo. So that's why we're not entertaining that fight. because we know Bud's smarter than that. Bud not
Right.
gonna do that. He said it his own self. He's not going up there and fighting them guys. He's not even gonna entertain the conversation.
I had Bud winning, but not like that. That's
Exactly.
what T. Rock Brown say.
Nobody that had Bud winning thought it was gonna go like that. And look, once again, Vegas was right. Once again, the betting odds were right. If the fight ended by knockout, Vegas had Crawford winning by knockout. They were right once again.
And how they do that?
They be knowing. They got people that study this shit. They be knowing. Sometimes, you know what I'm gonna start doing? Sometimes I'm gonna start betting with the house sometimes so I can win some money. The odds are less, but it seems like it's guaranteed money.
And as soon as you do that, you're gonna lose.
I mean, it's all a gamble at the end of the day. But everybody who betted on Crawford last night won money. Their odds wasn't as high as Spence, but they won some money.
It says that Trench, did you see Plant smack him? I want to see that fight now. Man, I don't know. The Charlos had way too much going on at that fight. They need to relax.
Yeah, Jamal out here making a bad name for the Charlos. I ain't gonna lie. He making a bad name for the Charlos. He might as well just go ahead and retire and just put his support behind his brother. That's what he should do. Even though he's an undefeated fighter, he's still a champion. Jamal Charlo is still an undefeated champion.
He could retire undefeated.
But the way it's looking with this layoff and all these personal problems and everything that's going on with you, when you finally get back in there, he may be a shell of himself.
He just need to get one good fight, get a payday, and sit down.
The Caleb Plant fight is right there, ready-made. It's ready-made. It's ready-made. They might as well make that fight on the undercard of Charlo Canelo. They'll make their money.
Boo Boo Andrade would expose Canelo, says Joseph.
No, he won't. I got Canelo whooping Boo Boo Andrade. At this point, the Boo Boo Andrade that was at 154, when they was all at 154, when he was in his prime, that's a different story. But today's Boo Boo Andrade, he gonna get whooped by Canelo.
And Joseph Trench Brick say, yeah, he smacked the dog shit out of him. Open hand, ultimate disrespect. Got to get it in. I mean, he almost dropped him with that slap. He got stunned. He got stunned. But he probably was drunk.
See, listen, if Canelo would have fought these guys when they was all at the same weight class, when they was all at 154, I would have favored most of these guys to whoop Canelo back then. But we talking about 2023, Canelo has consistently been a lot more active than Canelo got damn near 70 fights. Meanwhile, some of these other guys still in they fight 20-something. Canelo been consistent. Canelo been doing his thing. Now when they fight, with Canelo being much bigger, much more acclimated to higher weight classes like 175 and 168, now when he fight the Andres and the Jermell Charlos, those fights gonna look different now. We can be delusional all we want to, but we got to be real. Canelo fighting these guys now, he has a much better advantage than if he would have fought them when they was all the same size.
But like you just said, though, Canelo got 70 fights. One of these fights, that shit gonna show, and it's gonna be over for him.
That's experience. Because even when Canelo get his ass whooped, it still go 12. Even when Canelo dominate, it still go 12. Ain't nobody blitzing Canelo and getting him out of there. So you think these smaller guys gonna come up and blitz him out of there? It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
Man.
The only guy right now that I can see blitzing Canelo up out of there is David Benavidez and possibly Bivol or Better BF. Them the only three. Anybody else?
He ain't gonna fight none of them.
He probably won't fight any of them. He probably just whoop up on everybody else. But them the only three guys right now that I can see actually having a chance to stop Canelo Alvarez.
He gonna go pick on the little guys.
Everybody else, shit, you pack your Wheaties. Pack your Wheaties versus Canelo.
Trench Brick say he paralyzed his ass with that smack, man. That boy was like, it's like he got knocked out on his feet for real. Who y'all got? Devin versus Regis. Man, I got Devin, man. Regis, listen, me personally, I'm not really a Regis fan. I watched a couple of his fights, and every time I watch Regis, he don't look good.
Regis is hit or miss as far as his performances. But I do think if I have to favor anybody in that fight, I'm favoring Devin Haney because he's going to be sharper. He's going to be fresher. He ain't even reached his prime yet. But I will say, if Regis catching with something big, it's going to be over with. If Regis catch Devin with something big, it's going to be over. But I do think Devin Haney is sharp enough to be able to last 12 rounds with Regis' program. He's sharp.
Regis got a belt, right?
Yes, this is a great matchup. This is a great matchup. Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis is a great classic boxer versus brawler matchup. It's a very great matchup.
The 140 division kind of stacked though. It's some competition up there. Tank gonna have to slide his little stuff up there.
He been there. He didn't fought 3 fights at 140. Or 2 fights at 140 already. So he fought Ryan at 140 and he fought Mario Barres at 140. This wouldn't be his first rodeo.
Joseph N say, Trench, I think Devin will box Regis' ears off. Yeah, I could see Regis getting outboxed. I mean, he just looked horrible in his last fight. He looked horrible.
Trench say, I think Regis is going to fuck around and expose Devin. It's possible, but we got to look. If Regis had anywhere near the type of level of skill set like Terence Crawford, then yeah, I would say Regis for sure. But Regis don't have that type of skill set. Regis is limited. We can let's not act like Regis is not limited. He just has great power and good boxing ability. He's okay, but
he's inconsistent.
Yeah, he has great power, but he don't have all those other attributes at an A rating like a Terence Crawford or Shakur Stevenson or anything like that. So it makes for a very interesting matchup. If it go 12, Devin will probably win by unanimous. But it's possible that Regis can catch him with something big and it can be over with. So it's a great matchup, and I want to see it. It's a great matchup.
Joseph N say, and I like Regis. He's a down to earth. I got a selfie with him and me on my refrigerator. I gotta be real. I like Regis too. It just every time I see him fight, man, he just and my husband like Regis. He talk about Regis. I watch a Regis fight and he looks terrible. And my husband like, oh, you don't always fight like this. I'm like, man, listen. I watched the last Regis fight. He was in there looking terrible.
Yeah, Regis is hit or miss. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes he looks spectacular. Sometimes he look like he damn near unbeatable. And other times he be like, what the fuck are you doing, Regis? It's just he's very hit or miss. I don't understand what that's about, but he's very hit or miss. But I don't think he's gonna be missing in a fight of this magnitude with Devin Haney. He's gonna be the best he can be. So, we'll see. But I favor Devin Haney to win by decision in that fight too.
Man, I'm waiting on Spence to go live so he can explain what the fuck was going on. I need him to be like, what's up, y'all? Last night, something. I was sick, something. He probably not gonna even say nothing.
And you know what? Really just think, we all played this fight out in our head a million times since last night. Normally I pick the boxer over the banger. But for some reason, Errol Spence had me so invested into what he's done to other opponents that I went against that.
Yeah, because you thought he was gonna be able to overcome it because he's stronger, bigger, all this other shit.
But usually the superior boxer wins against the banger. And Crawford showed that last night. He showed that he almost like he slapped Crawford whooped my ass last night. Crawford whooped my ass as an Errol Spence fan. Crawford whooped my ass last night. For real.
I did. Bruh, when I tell you I was ready to go, I was ready to go. I'm gonna go home.
Crawford whooped my ass last night and made me remember, why the hell are you picking bangers over superior boxers? Why?
Because it's not like Spence can't box. Don't play him like that.
I'm not playing him. But what I'm saying is, even Bud haven't showed me that in years. but he still got it. It's there. Whenever he want to use it, it's in his bag. He got tools. He got way more tools in his bag. He just choose whatever tools he want to use. Sometimes he choose the wrong tools. Last night, he picked out all the right tools. He got them. Whatever he want to do, he can do it. It's just what he decide he want to do.
Okay, hold on. Let me run through these comments real quick. Trench say the shit Loma caught Devin with, shit Regis bound to catch him with.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
Edgar say 2 cents boxing salute in the chat. So Bud did his thing. He did do his thing.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying.
Trench Brick Earl looked like he got some pee the night before. Weak knees. He looked extra weak.
You didn't say that.
Extra weak.
Just now. No, when that. You didn't say that.
Big task at hand say Crawford cheated. Please expound on that, Big Task. How he cheat? What you got? Edgar Chavez says for some reason Earl looks smaller than a lot of his fights, but that's just me. He looked
like I said, he looked leaner than he ever looked before. I said that. He looked leaner. Look, I think Spence was better when he was more muscular and more just he was still the bigger man. Don't get it wrong. He was bigger than Terence Crawford last night, but Terence Crawford seemed to have more muscle mass on him last night than Errol Spence.
Yeah,
Big task at hand say Spence was not allowed to rehydrate.
That's not true. They didn't have a rehydration clause.
Big task at hand. Why do you think that? Trench Brick say he laughing my ass off. He said Bud beat my ass last night. Oh God, both of us. Shit, all three of us, man. Even when Spence was getting knocked down, I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? Like, and they was asking Derek why he ain't throw in the towel, baby.
Yeah. Bud beat the respect out of me. And I had respect for him before, but it's super high now. My respect for Bud is high as it's ever been for any fighter now. It's almost the respect I have for Bud now is up there with, I'm not gonna say he's on, the Pacquiao, the Floyd levels and all that, but it's damn near close. And if he keep on doing what he's doing, he'll be right there with them guys.
Bree say Earl was weak and high. Literally, I don't think Errol Spence was high.
Me either. I don't think he would get high in a fight like this. And if he was high in this fight, he was probably high in all the rest of his fights, so it ain't no excuse.
Edgar say Crawford didn't cheat until proven otherwise.
Facts.
Big task at hand says Crawford's corner kept the canvas wet. That's why Spence kept slipping in the ring. How can they do that?
Look, Spence was getting knocked down in the middle of the ring. He wasn't on the ropes. He was in the middle of the ring. It wasn't no water, no ice, or nothing like that in the middle of the ring. He was just getting his ass whooped. All that damage happened in the middle of the ring. It didn't happen on the ropes. It didn't happen in the corner. It happened in the center of the ring. Every knockdown happened in the center of the ring, except for the one when he got knocked down right before the bell. That happened by the ropes. But all the other 3 knockdowns happened in the center of the ring.
Trench Brick say, nah, that ring was dry. Earl got effed up, bro. Sorry. Yeah, man, it's hard. It's hard, man. It's tough. It's tough. So what does this do for Earl in his career?
Look, I think it's a great experience for him. If he want to get the rematch, go get the money. But I think he needs to relock and reload as far as just like everybody who at this point, when they get whooped like this, I think you need to not necessarily reinvent yourself, but I think you need to go back to the drawing board and try your best to get better. What you're doing has worked up until this point. But as we see on this top level, it ain't working.
Big task at hand says, why was Crawford allowed to wrap his own hands?
He always wrapped his own hands.
I mean, so is it just 1 and 2? Is Crawford 1 and Spence 2? Or are you saying Spence is just not that guy?
Well, right now, you got to say Crawford 1 and Spence 2.
That's what I'm saying though. So this don't diminish him. Is he just
It
two?
doesn't diminish him. It doesn't diminish him. But what we are speculating is that damn, is Spence really number two? We speculating that now. We speculating that's after a performance like that. Because if the gap is so big from 1 to 2, that makes Crawford look even better. If the gap is that big, because it ain't close. There's a big gap. There's a big gap between Terence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. It's a big margin between the two. It ain't close. If
Because
they
Shop
fall,
Fan says if he doesn't get caught in the second round, this is completely different. But his equilibrium was off from the beginning. Someone right with him. Ambrose Rose say the new weight cut is suspect with the water and new nutritionist techniques, but it is what it is.
I think Errol Spence looked better when he was not necessarily when he was ballooning up in weight and bullshit, nah. But I do think he was better when he was more, more muscular, honestly. I do think he
Trench
was
Brick
better.
say not gonna lie on the hand wrap shit. Them gloves was mighty heavy on Bud. Not making no excuses, just saying. What you mean, Trench Brick? But I mean, I ain't never seen Bud punching that hard. I'm talking about Spence was bleeding the first round,
Bud knock out everybody. This ain't nothing new.
but he not punching niggas that hard in the first round, bro.
Bud, whenever Bud decided to turn it on, it's all depend on whenever he decided to turn it on, he hurt people the same way he hurt Spence last night. When he turned it depends on when he decide. Whenever he decide he want to turn it on, we seen in the Porter fight. He decided to turn it on, and immediately he got Porter up out of there. Immediately he had Porter hitting the canvas and looking novice against Kell Brook. After the first few rounds, Kell Brook was boxing his ass up. When Crawford decided to turn that shit on, immediately he started hurting Kell Brook. This is what Terence Crawford do. When he decided, immediately he started doing damage to his opponents. It just happened. It just so happened that he came out in this fight. You didn't see Terence Crawford fight 1 second in the traditional stance. He fought every moment of that fight in southpaw. He came out in the round 1 with that shit on his mind.
Charlo will avenge the loss of Spence, says Big Task at hand. Trench Brick say Bud looked like he had bricks in them motherfuckers. He was hitting hella hard, bro. That shit was ridiculous. No Spence, not two. I don't know what's that for.
He talking about the rematch. No rematch.
Jamel gonna smoke Bud. I mean, it depends on if he have a hard
It
fight.
depends on what Canelo do to him. It depends on what Canelo do to him will determine what happened in the Bud fight. It depends on what Canelo if he can get out that fight without sustaining too much damage, yeah. But if he can go to a war with and Canelo takes him out of his career, yeah, Bud just gonna finish him off. Bud gonna finish him off. But we just got to see what he do with Canelo. We got a couple months.
Say I want to see Spence versus Tim Tszyu at 154 if the rematch with Bud doesn't happen.
That's a tough fight.
That Bud go fight Tim Tszyu.
I'd rather see Bud versus Tim Tszyu than Spence because that's gonna be a tough fight. Tim Tszyu is a big ass power puncher. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be. I wouldn't advise Spence to go from that ass whooping last night and straight into a Tim Tszyu fight. He needs to fight lower level guys and you know what I'm saying and work his way up to that.
Grease say crawfish on PEDs or Earl was drained or both.
Man, I ain't gonna say that, bro. I ain't gonna say that.
Trench Brick. Charlo not beating Bud, bro. At this, he looks unbeatable the way he looked last night. Big Task at hand say this fight needs to be investigated.
Look, we going through it as Spence fans, bro. We going through the emotions. We going through the emotions, bro. That's what
hey, let us go through it. Hey, listen, welcome to True Sense where you can come and vent, let out all your frustrations from last. I mean, I got the shirt, everything. I woke up, put my shirt back on this morning. Because you gotta respect. I still got love, man. I respect.
You gotta respect Spence. Because this fight wouldn't happen without Spence. This fight wouldn't happen without Spence.
I respect it, man. But that's what I'm saying. You know, I was telling my husband in the car, I was like, man, forget this old stand up, do what I say and fight, because it seemed like that shit just don't be going right. Like you be make these fighters making all these sacrifices to prove they the best, and then they getting in there and getting smashed and cheated and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. It is what it is. I ain't gonna put that jacket on Crawford. I'm not gonna say anything about him cheating.
No, I'm talking
I'll
about
never hear
far
that
as
come out
Wilder
my mouth.
Fury. I'm talking about like Wilder Fury. Like Wilder brought Fury back. You know what I'm saying? And then
That's Wilder's fault. That's Wilder's team's fault. That's not Fury's fault. That's Wilder's team fault why all that shit occurred the way it did. That's why you gotta have a great team around you. That's Wilder's fault why he got cheated. That ain't Fury's fault for not getting caught. That's Wilder's fault for not catching that shit beforehand. It took a YouTuber to study that shit to put that shit to light. Why the hell somebody in Wilder camp couldn't figure this shit out?
because they was with the shits. What you mean?
It took a conspiracy theorist to put all this shit on Front Street about Fury. Why the hell somebody in boxing couldn't figure this shit out? The shit was in plain view for us. This shit was in plain view. The Fury shit was in plain view. They did it right in front of your face. That's why having a great team around you is very important. It's very important. Look, we talked that shit about Bomac. Bomac had that boy Terence Crawford right for last
Man,
night.
Bomac, they got a team over there. That shit ain't just Bomac.
That's what I said. It's your team. Bomac and his team had Terence Crawford ready. I'm talking about all the way around the board. Ready. When Thursday night, when he was saying, look, we here now, you can't hide. They was ready. They was ready for the moment. They knew they was ready.
Trench Brick say, yeah, folks paid a lot of money to see Spence not break shit. Ambrose West say, I'm telling you, the jab of Bud. Imagine the reflexes he jab reacted whenever Spence jab with a much faster and stronger jab. That skill cannot be undermined.
Yeah, the skill level wasn't nowhere near close. It was the skill level was the biggest. That was the biggest gap in the fight between the two, was the skill level.
Aang Holloway says, hard choice. Both women are beautiful. What up, Aang? We talking boxing talk last night. Give us your 2 cents and let us know what you think about the fight.
Like I gotta say, let me say this real quick. I know it's not boxing related, but Ashanti finer than Alicia Keys. But let's move on.
Grease say, what's next for Crawfish? He about to fight Benavidez. I want that for Crawfish. He trying to get Crawfish killed.
Yeah, he trying to get Crawford knocked the fuck out. But Crawford already said himself, he not finna play them games. Y'all not finna drag him up to 168 and try to exploit him. Crawford's smarter than that.
Crawford about to retire.
We'll never see Crawford at 168, and we shouldn't, because he ain't big enough.
I think Crawford gonna retire.
Nah, he gonna keep on fighting and get some more stress. He's probably gonna go for undisputed at 154. I see Crawford doing that. I see Crawford. Well, you know what I see from Crawford? I see Crawford trying to challenge Floyd's 50-0. That's what I see now. He's 40-0 now. I see Crawford trying to challenge Floyd's 50-0 while trying to be 3-time undisputed, and that'll put him in company that no other man has ever been in.
Big Task at Hand say, I see you everywhere with these questions, but I'm going with Alicia Keys, hands down. Alicia Keys was so good by accident. Come on, y'all. Big Task at Hand say Crawford is overrated. I mean, you can't really say that no more.
Crawford is overrated, what is Spence?
That's what I'm saying.
If Crawford is overrated, then what is Errol Spence?
Who's that?
Was Errol Spence a hype job? Is that what y'all saying? Errol Spence ain't no hype job, man.
Hey, see, let me tell you a story. So he got into it with when where we used to stay at. He got into it with one of the dudes over there about the Crawford fight. I think we might have told you about it because he was going hard on Crawford after he ducked them negotiations.
What happened?
Sadiq had got into it with one of our neighbors.
Oh yeah.
They was arguing about the Crawford fight after he ducked them negotiations.
Yeah, you better duck that neighbor now because he gonna have a lot of shit to talk now.
He just called him.
No, from the Porter.
We was talking about the Porter Crawford versus the Crawford
Spence.
fight when after he fought Crawford.
Right.
And then he blocked
But yeah,
him.
he told him, man, you don't talk to me. Like they ain't talked since then.
We was talking
Since
about-
last year. That boy just called him like, hey. Man, Spence fans is, man, listen.
But look, as Crawford fan as he was, guess what he said?
We got to go through it.
Something was wrong with fucking Spence.
And he said something was wrong with Spence, though.
He said he got
even Crawford fans
he
feel
said
say
he
something
got
was wrong with
he got
Spence.
played in
Well, you know what was wrong with Spence?
lightweight.
He wasn't on that level. That's
He
what was
he
wrong.
wasn't, man.
He said
It's
you know
deeper
what?
than that, bro.
He said Spence couldn't have been over 155 pounds.
It's deeper than that, bro. And I'm not saying that if everything was right with Spence, Crawford still wouldn't have beat him, but I don't think he would have beat him like that. That's what I'm saying. It's like Spence wasn't even, man.
Yeah.
I'm having a
And
hard time.
He a diehard Crawford. I think he said something's wrong with Spence.
Grease say Earl was drained.
No, I don't think Errol was drained. I think he was too light in the ass. I think he was too light in the ass. I think that nutrition and shit was cool for how he felt, but it wasn't better for how he performed. That's what I think.
I think he wasn't allowed to rehydrate.
He didn't look drained. He looked good.
He looked so small. Why was he so
looked
small?
Good. He wasn't drained. He looked good. But I think he just performed better when he was bigger.
Trent said he took the Mike Tyson shrooms.
I don't know.
Joseph N say I felt like giving Spence a hug after watching that post-fight press conference. Damn, man. I mean, you just feel so bad for it. It's like I feel bad for Spence because I feel like you could have done so much better. It's not even that you lost. It's that, man, like, dude, like you ain't even put up a fight. That's what it was. You ain't even put up a fight. That's the thing. You didn't even put up a fight. If you would have put up a fight and lost, cool. But bro, it just something wasn't right with him. He was weak. I'm talking about his punches. I could have went in there and beat up Errol Spence last night.
Nah. Crawford was just that guy, and he proved it last night. He proved it. He's just that guy.
Yes, big task at hand. This is a therapy session. That's exactly. I need to change the title. Errol Spence Jr. therapy session. Woo! I mean,
Look, I don't mind. I can take an L. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got my ass whooped last night as an Errol Spence fan. I take it. I've accepted my L. I got my ass whooped. We got our ass whooped. Let's just accept it.
We got his ass whooped.
Man, you know, that's cool, bud. You that good. But you been fight champions then. But he said they blackballed him. I still don't believe it, but I see why Mikey Garcia ain't fight that nigga.
Yeah, I see why Mikey Garcia ain't fight that nigga. It would have been bad. Goddamn.
After the way Spence did him.
But Crawford can do whatever he want to do in the ring. That's what I seen. That's what last night showed me about Crawford. Whatever he decide he want to do, he can do it. He just got to decide to do it. See, normally we see Crawford make bad decisions over and over, but he's still able to overcome it. Last night, everything he decided to do was the right decision, and it came with great reward to it. That's what we seen last night. We seen Crawford standing there with niggas like Mean Machine and try to bang it out with him, and he was getting his ass touched up. Last night, he stayed cool, calm, and composed. He countered Spence. That was his game plan last night. Let Spence get off and let's counter his ass. Let Spence get off first like he wants to. Let Spence step like he said he wanted to step. We just gonna be better. We just gonna be sharper. We just gonna counter his ass. That's what he did all night last night.
Ambrose West say, imagine Bud getting the undisputed at 154, a three-way undisputed fighter. What? But yes, my Miss 2 cents. I think you're right. Bud will walk off into the sunset and retire. He don't need money or proof no more. Yeah, that's what I think. Greeks. Earl was feeding his horse apples instead of shoveling shit doing hard work. He fucked up. I don't know. It just looked weird. Spence had something going on, and Bud was the better man that night. Like he said, let's do the rematch. I'm gonna go with Earl in the rematch. I don't care. We gonna
I
ride.
want Earl to win every time he step out there. But if they fought again, yeah, there's no way I wouldn't put my money up on Terence Crawford. There's no way. After seeing what I seen last night, I don't think there's nothing that he can do in 3-4 months that'll make him good enough to fight a man like that.
Trench Big say, man, Boost the only man that stand a chance against Bud. How Spence trainer not going to have an answer for Crawford switch to southpaw? I don't think it was that. I think he wasn't listening to Derek. First of all, he wasn't executing the game plan. He couldn't do it. It looked like Spence was fighting in a dream. Like he just was slow and stuck. He just was slow and stuck.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It is what it is. He got his ass whooped.
I don't know, man. I wonder how he feels though. Like,
Errol Spence didn't look like he was down and out about it. Errol Spence looked like, it is what it is. Errol Spence accepted this shit.
It looked like he knows something. It looked like, all right, it looked like he knew something was kind of off. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew something was up.
I think Errol Spence really mean what he said. When he said there's no excuses, he got beat by the better man. I think he truly feels that. It's us fans that's still in denial. He not in denial. He realized that Crawford is levels above his ass. He know it now. He don't have no hard feelings about it. They don't have no smoke for each other. They embraced each other multiple times after the fight. They good. They cool. They friends. They fans of each other. It's us fans that's got to go through it and accept it. It's us fans that got to accept it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, but they know who better. They both know Terence Crawford better. The Coners know. Derek James know. Bo Mack know. They all know now.
Derek told him, if you want the rematch, let's do it.
Yeah, get the money. But shit, it's going to go the same way or not, if not worse. Derek James needs to get somebody else to help his ass out. Yeah, that blocking and parrying shit cool versus most people. We need somebody to teach a motherfucker how to get out the way, period. Derek James ain't teaching you how to get out the way. None of Derek James fighters are getting out the way. They standing there trying to weather every storm. That shit ain't working versus everybody. It's working versus most, though. It got him far. It got him undisputed champion. It got him a pound-for-pound top fighter in Errol Spence. He got a couple other fighters on his roster that's doing great things, too. But it's levels. I'm not saying Bo Mack is the greatest trainer. Nah, I still think Derek James is the greatest trainer. But for a fight like that, you need more. You need help. If you're doing this all by yourself, Derek James, if you ever watch this video, I think you will serve yourself better with getting some help. Like Bo Mack got 2-3 people helping him. You need some help too.
Spence looked lighter, lethargic, drained, and weaker, but that's on him. It's just disappointing we didn't see the stronger Spence on such an important night. Yeah,
we haven't seen that strong Spence since before he started. He used to have a strength and conditioning coach. His name was Blue Ray. Whenever Spence fought, when Blue Ray was in his camp, Spence looked phenomenal physically on the scale and in the ring and everything. He looked like a fucking bodybuilder. He looked phenomenal. But anytime he's fought without Blue Ray, he's looked a lot more leaner. He's looked a lot more regular.
Everybody keeps saying he need to get back with Blue Ray.
He looked a lot more regular. Errol said it was him, C-Dub. Yeah.
Errol said it was him, C-Dub. Stop.
It was him. What do you mean by that?
Big task at hand. Oh, because you were saying Derek James needs some help. Big task at hand said fight Crawford first. Charlo should fight Crawford first. Then Spence should make the rematch. No, they got to do it within a certain amount of time. So he said the rematch should be in like December.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna do numbers?
Jamel Charlo won't be ready coming off a Canelo fight in September 30th for December.
No, I'm talking about the rematch between Spence and Crawford.
If they rematch, it'll happen in December. It'll happen this year for sure. If they rematch, it'll happen next. If it don't happen next, they'll never fight each other again.
Damn, man. Spence looked vulnerable, man. Something was going on. I wonder if he ever gonna come out and say.
If the rematch don't happen next, we'll never see Bud versus Crawford again. Charlo will not be ready by December. He got to fight at the end of September. That fight not happening this year. But it's gonna happen.
How much longer? Bud 35. How much longer y'all think he gonna fight?
Sure, he ain't looked 35 last night. Amber West said anybody got the pay-per-views on the fight, it should be crazy. We probably won't know what the pay-per-view numbers look like until about Tuesday, Wednesday. We won't know until about Tuesday, Wednesday.
Man, bro, why his eyes look so puffy?
Because they got touched so many damn times.
I'm talking about before the fight.
Hey, I don't know. That's on them. Whatever they did, that's on them.
Well, I guess the next fight is the Charlo deal. That's the next fight to look forward to.
The next big fight is Charlo versus Canelo, man.
Devin Haney putting on some big fights this year too, I guess.
For sure. That's right after Charlo Canelo. The very next month is Haney Regis. So this has been a great year of boxing. I ain't gonna lie. Like this has been. I've been watching boxing heavily since 2012. Ain't no other year come close to this. Ain't no other year.
Earl said they fighting again, of course. Big Task and Hand say, I'm sorry, but I didn't know that Nebraska had black people until I saw Crawford.
It's black people everywhere, man. It just, Nebraska probably not known for having a mass population.
It's not too many black people where it's cold at.
Yeah, black people don't usually go where. Well, it's certain places like Philly and shit. There's a lot of black people there and shit, but Chicago, there's a lot of black people there too.
Nah, Nebraska, cold, mountain, snow, shit, cold.
Black people are synonymous to the South. You know what I'm saying? Black people in the South are synonymous, or the Midwest. We synonymous to that. When you start going up north, then and I'm pretty sure there's black people everywhere, but that's why we ain't seen too many athletes period come out of Nebraska that's black, because they have a black people there, but it ain't it ain't like it is down south. If you go to Memphis, Tennessee, you're gonna see black culture in essence. You go to Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, you go to certain places in the South, all of Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, you're gonna see an influx of black people. When you go to these other states like Nebraska, you got to go to certain areas to see an influx of black people. It's just different. You go to Dakota or some shit like that, it's gonna be different. So black people are synonymous to the South. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. You go to Florida, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of black people. But if you go to the West Coast, even if you go to Cali, you will see a lot of array of people. It's gonna be a lot of different people everywhere you go. So black people are just synonymous to the South. But yeah, man, they got them one. Nebraska got them one in Terence Bud Crawford. Nebraska don't even got an NFL football team, but they got somebody who generating them type of interest in Terence Crawford. So, Nebraska got them one.
Fun fact: NYC has the most black people where I'm from.
Yeah, see, NYC cold as hell, but they got NYC. I couldn't live in a place like NYC.
Man, I lived in Virginia, and that was too cold for me.
I couldn't live in a place like NYC. It's too many people. Period. It's just too many people on top of each other. Like that's like Tokyo and like New York and places like that where people are on top of each other like that. I like having space.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I couldn't
you can't drive and shit. People be hitting your bumpers and all that type of stuff. Can't park like that. I couldn't do that. But
Ambrose West said, I would be okay if I don't see Spence versus Bud again. That was just way out of there. It's still hard to believe it was so one-sided. Love Spence, man, but much respect to Bud for sure. Yeah, for sure, man. Like, after we go through these emotions and everything, you know what I'm saying, and the dust settle, We just gotta accept what happened last night for what it was. One man was way better than the other man, and it's not even close. And it wasn't even close. It wasn't even competitive. It wasn't close. I'll be okay if I never seen that shit again too. To be honest with you, I'll be okay if I never seen that shit again.
Unbelievable the way his face was busted up like that. That shit was crazy. I
Look,
wonder when we gonna hear from Spence again.
I mean, Spence ain't finna hide. You know, Spence gonna be right in front of the media and the camera and everything. You know, Spence a star too. He's still a star. You know what I'm saying? Like, Spence ain't finna hide from this moment. Spence gonna be right and answer everybody's questions. You know, Spence gonna say all the right things. You know, Spence, he gonna be who he is. He the truth for a reason. He gonna remain the truth. He gonna remain the truth. He ain't finna duck and dodge and hide and start being acting funny and doing weird shit. Spence gonna still be him. He gonna still be him.
And I
Spence
wish
ain't, Spence ain't finna turn into this lame all of a sudden. Nah, he's still gonna be the same guy. The same guy we like and love. Spence gonna still be that same guy.
Yeah, I do sound like a therapy.
my husband D talking about y'all do sound like y'all in the therapy session.
Look, we gotta go through the emotion. See, I went through this shit last night. When I was talking all that shit last night, I went through it last night when I was doing all the yelling and shit. I did all that shit last night. I slept on it and I woke up early this morning. Like, I ain't even look, I only slept 3 hours. I went to sleep like at 3, 4 in the morning and popped right up at 7 in the morning. Like,
You couldn't even do it,
I
huh?
couldn't even sleep long. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went through it last night. I ain't gonna lie. I went through it last night. I woke up feeling much better this morning.
It's gonna take me a while,
Yeah.
bro. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm not a sore loser. Like, like if I lose, cool, I lose. But bro, the thing is, I know what it feels like to lose like a championship. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
and I've lost multiple championships. So
Yeah.
it seems like it just triggers that pain. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Every
Losing the
time.
championship is always hurt. It's one of the few things that can make a person like me cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those few things. But it just is what it is. You want something so bad, and you got to accept the fact that it was somebody who wanted it more than you.
But what it is like you work so hard for this moment. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like I didn't lost championships getting blown out. I didn't lost championships from one shot. Like I've lost, like it's just you work so hard for this moment and it's just snatched away from you. And then it's like it's all over with. You feel empty. You ain't practicing no more. You ain't got like it's so depressing, bro. Like it's depressing. And I ain't even competing. And that's how I feel right now.
Yeah, I'm sure Errol, he not gonna be right back in the gym on Monday. He gonna take some time off. He gonna vacation. Look, Errol got paid like a motherfucker last night. Let's not forget. These niggas got paid. They got paid. They got a handsome ransom, as some people would
I
say.
guess it's probably different when you
Yeah,
losing for free.
yeah. They got a handsome ransom for what happened last night. Errol got paid for his suffering last night. It wasn't free. That ass whooping cost millions. A bunch of them.
Joseph N say I've been up all night. I called in to work today. I'm still salty, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Joseph N, I'm feeling you, bro. Look, I told my husband last night, I said, man, every time I close my eyes, I see Spence getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, I went through it last night. I'm talking about I talked about this shit until I probably talked myself to sleep last night.
You say what?
I probably talked myself to sleep. I literally stayed up till 3 in the morning talking about this shit.
Bro, Bud caught a lot of people with that fishnet. Damn. Some people still squirming to get out. LOL.
Look, Bud had a fishnet on his overlay. He had a fishnet on his shorts. He even had fishnet on his shoes. He was ready to catch a big fish. You feel me? He was ready for it. Even his jacket in the post-fight presser, it said even big fish get caught on the back of that hole. He was ready to catch a big fish. He really meant it literally.
Hey, well, it came through. Big Tascan say the fights in the early 2000s, late 90s was phenomenal. Everybody was fighting everybody in their prime while young. Past 2012, boxing got kind of watered down, but it's picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, well, fights like that, yeah, it's definitely picking up. Well, you know what I hope? I hope what Devin Haney did this year, and I hope with other boxers like what we just seen last night, and what we're gonna see for the rest of this year. I hope that inspire all the rest of these guys to just do it.
No, because Shakur already didn't want to fight Devin Haney because of the contract.
Just do it. Devin Haney, I mean, Shakur should have just accepted the 25% and just came in there. If you think you better come in there and whoop him. Look, Big Taz said my dumb ass actually paid for the fight. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. We should support these fighters every
No,
chance
for
we
sure.
get.
You should have bought the fight, for
We should
sure.
support these fighters every chance we get. We should
Spence
support
came back from the car crash and became a unified champion. He's still an inspiration. Absolutely.
facts. Facts. But yeah, Big Taz, we should support these fights. You can't feel bad because your guy lost because you paid the $90 for the pay-per-view. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Just because you paid the pay-per-view don't mean your guy gonna win. You know, you did a good thing by supporting the fight. You know, you supporting both of these fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like they put their bodies through the ringer. They in the gym every day getting punched on and doing all this running and training and all this. They do it for all entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So they should be paid for that shit, especially on this level. They should be paid for that shit. So you shouldn't feel bad about, you know what I'm saying, supporting these guys. Like,
Hey, when the epilogue drop?
I mean, probably today, but we shouldn't feel bad about supporting these guys. Like, now supporting bullshit. Now you talking about the Canelo versus Ryder? No, we shouldn't support shit like that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. But
It's a
supporting something like
showcase
this,
fight. It's a showcase fight.
yeah. But supporting shit like this, it was a 50-50 fight before last night. Everybody was saying 50-50. We should support that shit every time. Whenever the best fight the best, it don't matter what the name is. We should support that shit because that's what boxing should be about. The best fighting the best should get rewarded for it every time. The bullshit don't shouldn't get the reward, but a lot of times the bullshit get the reward. But the real shit should get rewarded every time. When the best fight the best, they should get rewarded for it.
Man, you think Cruz about to get that Tank fight?
I mean, why do we want to see it? Why?
The Mexican fan base want it.
Man, I think it don't matter what your race was. I think if you watched that fight last night, you seen how he got outboxed by Cabrera. Everybody seen it. Everybody seen it. Y'all really think that he can compete with Tank? He cannot compete with Tank. Yeah, he had a good showing in their first fight. It's cool. Isaac Cruz ain't nowhere near that level. It's a money grab. It's another easy fight for Tank. Tank is 28. I'm ready to see him in there with the smoke. I'm tired of seeing him in there with this bullshit. I'm tired of seeing him in there bringing guys up from 130 like Hector Garcia. I'm tired of seeing him fight a limited fighter, just a popular fighter in Ryan Garcia. I want to see him in there with the smoke. I'm tired of seeing him in there with somebody like Rolly Romero. I want to see Tank versus Shakur. I want to see Tank versus Haney. I want to see Tank versus Regis. I want to see Tank versus all the top smoke there is. That's what I want to see because I think he that good. You got to show it though and prove it though.
Clearly.
You got to show it and prove it. I want to see Tank do it. I don't want to talk about what I think Tank is. I want to see Tank get in there and blitz these dudes. That's what I want to see.
And bro, Sweat say for me, it's the fact that the fighter you believed in just didn't step to the challenge that is so disappointing. But that's the thing about real human heroes. We are not perfect, neither are they. I mean, Spence got the story. He came back from the accident. And that's another reason people just wanted this for him so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's overcome a lot. He's overcome a lot.
Yeah. But we can't deny Crawford isn't promoted as well. But if everybody knew Crawford background, they would be saying that he was an indestructible man as well. A lot of people don't know Crawford got shot in his head. Crawford took a bullet to his head, and he survived. He's not the only one that went through a trauma. Errol Spence is not the only one that went through a life-changing experience. Crawford has as well. Both of these guys are phenomenal athletes that have great stories and great backgrounds. It's just that Errol Spence was more popular. He was promoted better. He moved better. But Crawford is the same thing. As we see, he's even more. When they got in the ring with each other, everything that Crawford did was hurting Errol Spence. He knocked, the first knockdown came from a jab. He knocked Errol Spence down with a jab. It wasn't even a power punch.
And that power is crazy. That power was crazy.
He
Like,
knocked Errol Spence down from a jab. It was an ass whooping. It was an ass whooping.
Big Task and Hand say, wait a minute, I have a question. Isn't it illegal to fight with your lead foot on your tippy toes?
No, it's not.
I don't even know what that means. What you mean?
No.
Why
I'm
was
talking
that
about
be
your
illegal?
front foot and your tippy toes. A lot of people fight with their front foot. Crawford just stood his ground. Crawford stood more on his back foot than his front foot. Crawford didn't use no lateral movement in this fight. Crawford didn't even really back up too many times. Sometimes he conceded and moved back for a little while, but Crawford didn't. Crawford stood his ground. Crawford stood on his back foot. Even when Errol Spence came in with the little 2-3 punch combo, Crawford stood on his back foot, let Errol Spence come to him, let the ref come break it up. He didn't move back not one time during those exchanges. He stood his ground. He stood in the middle of the ring. He didn't let Errol Spence bully him like Errol Spence known for doing. Crawford didn't let
Errol
that shit
Spence
happen.
had no strength. He couldn't even do it.
He
He
didn't
was
let
so weak, bro.
Errol Spence bully him. That shit did not work. All that Terminator shit Errol Spence do, that shit didn't work against Crawford at all. It didn't work at all. Crawford stood there, seeing all that shit from a mile away, used his brain, picked them apart. Picked them apart. That was a master class 10 out of 10 performance. It don't get no better than that. It don't get no better than that. It don't get no better than what we seen last night. We've only a very few championship fights or big fights in history played out that one-sided. Look, we was talking about the NUA Fulton just a few days ago. This was even worse.
Big Task and Hand say Crawford even got arrogant in the fight and said, yo, Spence, toe to toe, SMH.
And Spence can't fight toe-to-toe with somebody like Crawford. It's levels. Spence should have tried to box this guy after realizing that shit wasn't gonna work. And that's what we thought. It should have been the opposite. We thought Crawford should have boxed him. Nah, Spence should have came out trying to box.
He should have boxed him, but he wanted to bang with him though.
Yeah, Spence should have boxed. And as we were saying, Crawford should have boxed. Nah, Spence should have boxed. At least he would have lasted longer and took less punishment if he would have boxed. He walked into the grinder. With Crawford.
Ambrose Voice say, do Tank want to see that? I think Tank way too relaxed to give a damn about these belts and P for P things. He had his fight for the year. We will see him in January again.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. If Tank want to continue doing what he's doing, ain't nothing wrong with it. He'll keep on getting paid and he'll keep on having notoriety. But I'm not gonna be a fool to think that Tank is the best when he's not fighting the best and he only getting older. We need to see him fight. We need to see him. He need to prove it. Without belts, you're not proving shit. Besides, you got people. You can get people to come pay for your shit. You can garner interest. You a draw. That's cool. Being a draw. There's been plenty fighters who have been draws over time. Arturo Gatti was a draw. Mickey Bay was a draw. At one point in time, Amir Khan was a draw. A lot of what's his name? Prince Nassim was a draw. A lot of people was draws. But do that mean they was the best fighter out there? No. It's very rare when somebody is a big draw and the best fighter. Floyd was one of them guys who was both. It's very rare to see. Before last night, Terence Crawford was not a draw.
Right. Is he a draw now?
Of course he's a draw now. After a performance like that, yeah, everybody's going to be interested to see what he do next. But before last night, Terence Crawford was not putting ass in seats. People was not paying for Terence Crawford to see Terence Crawford fight before last night. He wasn't a draw before last night. But I guarantee you, going forward, He gonna put ass in seats and people gonna pay to see him fight. He made himself a star last night. Crawford made himself a superstar last night. Crawford is a household name from last night to every moment after this. Crawford is a household name. Everybody gonna know who Terence Crawford is after last night. Even people who don't watch boxing gonna know the Terence Crawford name after last night.
Damn. If this up there, 2 million people seen Spence get wrecked.
No, only 2 million people bought. More than 2 million people seen that shit. The whole world seen that shit, but the pay-per-view is only who decided to support. The whole world seen that shit last night. Terence Crawford is a household name from here on out.
Spence played himself, man. He wanted that shot so bad. He was willing to do anything to get it, and you just can't win like that in boxing.
Tank got to get in there and do it. We think he can do it. We think he like that. He got to do it though. We can't just say what we think. We got to do it. He got to do it. I mean, he got to do it. So until Tank get in there and start fighting real competition, we only go talk about what we think.
Real competition. Shakur, the only real competition at 135.
Yeah, it's Shakur. He can fight guys like Frank and just he can build his resume to be legendary. But no, they in it for the money.
Yeah, because Frank wouldn't get him no bunch of money.
They in it for the money.
Frank might be a good fight. People might, if Frank win another fight or two, then he could fight Frank.
Frank is a great fight for him. Regardless, you got to favor Tank. But Frank is a great fight because if you whoop up on Frank, nobody gonna say, "Oh, okay, damn, that's a great win." You beating a great fighter. I ain't gonna say a great fighter, but you beating a great athlete who has the potential to be a great fighter. Beating Frank Martin up, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but beating Frank Martin is a great win. It's a much better win than you going in there and rematching Isaac Cruz.
Man, nobody want to see that, especially after the way Cruz looked last night.
Cruz lost last night. Cruz got styled on. A nigga played with Cruz last night.
And ate his punches.
A nigga with no power styled on Isaac Cruz last night. That's what actually happened last night. A nigga with no punching power that was unknown, but obviously he a good boxer. He styled on Isaac Cruz last night and he did it with his hands down and ate every punch.
Ate him.
Ate every punch. He styled on Cruz last night. Cruz did not deserve the win last night. Cruz
I think he was talking noise to him and everything. Called him little.
Cruz lost that fight last night.
He definitely did, but you knew he was gonna get the robbery.
Cruz lost last night. I don't care what nobody say. Pitbull Cruz lost that fight last night.
At the very least, it should have been a draw.
He lost. Old boy hit him way more times. Old boy did whatever he wanted to do in the ring. Yes, Isaac Cruz had his moments when he landed big shots, but it wasn't enough.
Not for him to win the whole fight.
Isaac Cruz lost last night.
Unbelievable, bro.
Hey, it happened. We got to believe it.
I just don't even like.
We got to believe it. It happened.
What was Spence thinking?
But look, Spence ain't over with, man. Spence is still a good fighter. Spence still can smoke people. Spence still can put that pressure on people and break people down and whoop their ass. But I don't think it's gonna happen at the top level. Spence is very, very good. We thought Spence was great. I thought Spence was all-time great. Last night showed me that he ain't on that level.
Bro, he wasn't at his best though, bro. You can tell he was not at his best.
Every fighter have an off night, but god damn, we never seen niggas get dominated like that. Even on their worst night, we never seen niggas get dominated like that. Crawford didn't have bad nights. Did he ever look like that? Spence had bad nights. Did he ever look like that? No, it's just the difference is levels.
It's beyond a bad night.
That's what I'm saying. It's levels to the fighters. Let's just accept it. Terence Crawford is levels above Errol Spence.
You can't have a bad night against an elite fighter, period. Not like that.
Terence Crawford is levels above Errol Spence. It's not close. It's not close. If they rematch, it's gonna be the same shit, or not, if not worse. It don't matter if it's at 147, 154, 160. It's gonna be the same shit. It's gonna be the same shit. Terence Crawford just levels above, and Terence Crawford did what he had to do. He was composed. He was ready for the moment. He was ready for the moment.
Well, C-Dub, it's all over with. The morning after.
Look, it ain't over with for Spence. You know, Spence, you still that guy. You know what I'm saying? If you ever tune in and see this shit, we ain't talking down on you. You know, you still that guy. You still can whoop up on a whole lot of people. You know what I'm saying? You can still whoop up on a whole bunch of people. Your style of break most people down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just levels. Terence Crawford just way better. It is what it is. If I put Errol Spence up against any of Terence Crawford opponents, I got Errol Spence whooping every one of Terence Crawford opponents.
Right.
But against each other, it's just a different level. Crawford liked that for real. He liked that. He liked that.
We'll see, man. But I'm interested to see what's next. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe Derrick James do got too much going on over there.
He needs some help. He needs some help. I know Jamel getting help. Jamel got Guzman in his corner. You know what I'm saying? Jamel got here. Jamel gonna make sure he's straight. But I'm just talking about period. In his camp period, if he the main and only thing, he needs some help. He's a great trainer. I still think Derrick James is still the best trainer out there. He got a lot on his plate. He got a lot of great fighters and a lot of big fighters that got big fights on the horizon. He's still the same thing. Errol Spence still that guy, but he needs some help, man. He can't do it just by himself.
Ambrose West say, man, Cruz was a joke thing. That Cabrera was just a terrible fight. Literally not worth making a fight with Tank, and Tank would be the first to say it. Tank about that paper.
For sure.
They gonna pay him for that fight with Cruz. They want to see that.
Because it is easy money, but man,
he could take it, get paid, and for like a tune-up.
Even if Tank whoop Isaac Cruz again, what is that doing for Tank? Is that proving that he's any better than what he say he is? Is it proving anything?
No, it's proving that I need a tune-up and I'm about to get paid. That's what it's proving.
It's not proving shit. It's not proving shit. I would have much rather boxing do what they were supposed to do and give Cabrera his win because he deserved it. And I would much have rather seen Tank versus Cabrera.
Hell nah, that boy getting knocked the
Tank still would have got him. But I would have much rather see Tank versus the winner.
But that ain't profitable.
Fuck profitable. I want to see who's the best.
This is a business. This is a business. The fight is a product of the business. If the business don't make sense, you ain't seeing the fight.
Man, I get it. I want these guys to make their money. All these boxers out there that entertaining us, y'all training, y'all sacrificing, y'all sucking down the waste that's astronomical. Y'all have 2% body fat, all type of crazy shit for us to watch y'all fight. I respect it. But I still want to see the best versus the best. I want to see the best versus the best. Real fans want to see the best versus the best. We might be in a minority, but I want to see the best versus the best. I don't give a damn about the money. Yeah, Tank gonna make his money. But Tank versus Cruz, that's just a money grab. He just lost. Cruz just lost. I'd rather see the nigga that Cruz just lost to versus Tank than to see the nigga that Tank already beat.
I don't know what's next for Tank, but he gonna have to do something.
Cruz lost last night. I don't care what nobody say. Cruz lost. I'd rather see Tank versus the nigga that Cruz lost to than to see him versus Cruz again.
He not finna fight Shakur. Shakur gonna have to get a couple more fights at 135.
Shakur, if you ever watch this, stop playing and get the smoke. Go to the smoke. You supposed to be like that, Shakur. You supposed to be the best. Go for the smoke before you get too old. Yeah, you young. Devin Haney is the one who's doing what he's supposed to do. Devin Haney is the one who's going out here, get the straps. He challenging himself. He moving up. Now he finna fight another champion. He's cementing his legacy. You just talking. Shakur Stevenson and team, y'all just talking. Y'all not getting to the money. Y'all ain't getting to the belts. What the hell are y'all doing? Y'all ain't doing shit.
The boxers be watching these YouTube channels too. They might come across this.
I hope they see it. Shakur Stevenson, if you ever see this or hear this, we want to see you just make the sacrifices and do it. You supposed to be like that. So just show it. Just do it. Just do it. Devin Haney out here doing it. Tank out here, he got the money. You in no man's land, Shakur.
Why you trying to? Or he should have just went ahead, fought Devin for the belt. I mean, Devin sacrificed to get them belts. You think he finna give you a shot at the belts and a big payday?
Shakur, you in no man's land. You got to make a splash. You should have accepted 25% and you should have took it to fight Devin Haney. That would have made you undisputed. That would have been a splash that you need. Just do it. Because it's a great reward on the backside of it. Stop trying to get the most on the front end. Get the back end.
That's that Terence Crawford business plan they on.
Get the back end. If you like that, if you win the fight, you get the back end.
One of them really a draw like that.
It don't matter. I guarantee you from here on out, Terence Crawford will be a draw. From here on out. It don't matter what happened before now. It took Crawford till he was 35 years old. But from here on out, he'll draw. Terence Crawford gonna get everything that he deserved from here on out. It took him a long time, but he here now. Shakur, you can do that shit in your early 20s. Don't wait. Don't wait. Just do it now. If you ever hear this shit, Shakur, do it now. Stop waiting.
Well, C-Dub, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts about last night. Great show that they put on for us last night. It was a great show. Even the undercards was entertaining. I thought that was going to be weak. The Nonito Donaire fight was entertaining. Pitbull Cruz fight was entertaining. The main fight was entertaining. That shit was a great fight card. That shit was an overall great fight card. I was entertained. Yeah, it was a great event. And the business got clear. The business got clear. Terence Crawford, hats off to you. You that guy. You that guy. Right now, you that guy. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You that guy, Terence Crawford. And Errol Spence, you still who you are too. You just ain't on that level. You just ain't on the level. But you know what I'm saying? I'm still rocking my guy Spence. He's still gonna be one of my favorites. It is what it is, but that's my 2 cents on the matter.
Ambrose West say Tank, Loma, Shakur, and Haney is the prime events now at 135. And throw Frank Martin in there after 1 or 2 fights. That's big 6 or 4 champions competition should be held again. Yeah, they can make some dope fights at 135.
You got to take Haney out of that. Haney ain't fighting at 135 no more. It's a wrap.
Yeah, he done. He gonna look like Spence. He keep trying to fight at 135. Yeah.
You got to take Haney out that now. Haney is a 140 fighter now.
Well, my 2 cents. Congratulations to Terence Crawford. His skill, he really is skillful. We already knew he was skillful, but was he as skillful to be elite? And I guess he proved last night that he was. And man, something went right with Earl, bro. someone right with Earl. I mean, I need to know what was up. Something wasn't right with Earl, period. Bottom line, I don't give a damn. I got Earl in the rematch. I don't give a damn. I'm still rocking with Earl. He's still my guy. He's still my favorite fighter. To me, losing only cements your legacy if you're able to come back, be champion again, and do what you've been doing. All the greats got losses.
Not all of them.
What great don't got lost besides Mayweather?
Floyd Mayweather, Terence Crawford, Andre Ward.
Oh, Andre Ward ain't got no losses. Both are top ranked fighters. But I ain't gonna anyway, so that's it, man. That's it. That's all I got to say. I'm just gonna go through, get through, watch all the videos, listen to all the Crawford fans talk all hella shit. But
All right, y'all.
hold
We'll be back.
on. Ambrose West say I hear Haney gonna vacate, so it's too late for Shakur to get that 25% and probably total 30 mil. Really? 30,
No,
25% of 30 mil?
he wouldn't have got that much. That fight ain't that big. Not right now. It's not. No.
Now he will fight for a belt for 50% of total of 10 mil. You do the math. I mean, just let Haney drop the belts and let them bounce around the division and see who can get them. And then you can make champion against champion.
Look, Devin Haney conquered 135. Now he finna let it go, and they finna let everybody else pick up the scraps. That's what's finna happen. So we'll see where 135 play out, but 140 seems to be much more interesting now since they got some real fighters in that hole. So we got another division that's more smoke at 140. So we finna see what's up with that division too.
That's it. Well, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I'm Jay, and this is R2 Cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm Jay. This is my co-host, C-Dub. Join us for the next live show. If you watching the replay, hey, listen, if you made it this far in the video and you watching the replay, let me know and drop it below what you think we should name this show. I'm going to keep asking at the end of the video to see who watching it all the way through. And
give us a name. Give us a name.
Give us a name. I'm not going to pick a name until somebody just, I'm gonna let you guys pick the name of the show. But we'll see y'all in the next live show. Make sure you like, subscribe to my channel. Go check out some of my videos. I'm Jay, and I'll see you with my 2 cents in the next video. Peace.
Salute.